Welcome back to JP26. This is your boy JP. And of course, this is Studio 26. We got 6 storylines to go over from NFL Week 10. And this week, we have a Veterans Day episode presented to you by an actual United States military veteran.
Who the fuck is that guy? Who the fuck is that?
That's right. I'm a veteran of the United States Navy, and I'm very proud of that fact. And some people want to know, what did you do when you were in the military? Was it something heroic?
There goes my hero. Watch him as he goes.
Now, I won't be the one to judge what's heroic. But when you're 50,000 feet up in the air, in that jet, and there's enemies on the ground that are looking to take you out, and all you can think about is your family back home and how you're doing this for them because you love them and because you want to protect their freedoms. And you want to know something? I was the guy washing that guy's uniform. So.
Keep it real, JP.
2-6 for the studio.
What's the deal lately?
To the 6 storylines we go.
Hey, JP!
Happy Veterans Day.
Now go paint the fucking boat ship, mate!
We begin today with storyline number 6. The Baltimore Ravens are back. Everybody knows that so far this AFC North has been trash. Now, I'm sure that every coach in this division is disappointed by that fact, but there's also some real optimism about that fact as well for all 3 of these teams, because I'm not counting the Browns.
Well, no fucking shit.
The Steelers, the Ravens, and the Bengals, they all have a chance to go out and win this division still. Everything's still out in front of these 3 teams.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
One of these teams will win this division and will get a home playoff game. And I feel as though most Steelers fans are pretty knowledgeable about their team. And they don't seem to have any belief in this Steelers team whatsoever. I think they're all out on this Steelers team. And that's crazy to think about because the Steelers are literally in first place in the AFC North right now.
This is number 1 bullshit.
Steelers fans are very knowledgeable at their team, and I'm going to take their word for it. I don't think the Steelers are going to end up winning this division.
And we're fucked in the way you like to get fucked, not fucked in the way that normal people like to get fucked.
I think it's going to come down to the Ravens and the Bengals. I really do think that by the time we hit the end of the year, the Steelers will be the afterthought, and it'll be this crazy, miraculous race from the Bengals, who were considered once dead, and the Ravens, who were considered once dead, to end up winning the division. Now, right now, all cards on the table, I have a massive...
Dick,
Yeah.
take a look out of starboard.
Oh my God, it looks like a huge...
Pecker!
Oh, where?
Wait, that's not a woodpecker. It looks like someone's...
Privates! We have reports of an unidentified flying object. It is a long, smooth shaft, complete with 2 balls.
What is that? That looks just like an enormous...
Wang, pay attention.
I was distracted by that enormous flying...
Willie. Yeah. What's that?
Advantage Ravens for me. Consider me a believer that the Ravens will end up getting themselves back into the race and make it to the playoffs.
Are you sure about that?
So the Battle of the Purple goes to the Baltimore Ravens this time around over the Minnesota Vikings. Feels like these 2 teams are headed in opposite directions, with the Vikings and their fan base probably realizing now that this season isn't quite what they thought it was going to be. And even though for the Ravens, that is certainly the case, that it has not gone how they thought it would, they are now in prime position to come back and win this AFC North. And I think they will do exactly that.
Yeah, well, you know, that's just like your opinion, man.
Storyline number 5 is about two teams under the radar. And I think I know why both of these teams are flying under the radar. Let's start with the NFC team, the Chicago Bears. Caleb Williams is playing very good football, and I don't think anybody can deny that at this point. This kid got a lot of flack for what happened last year and, you know, painting his nails and stuff.
Why are you gay?
And then for the Broncos, this defense has been shutting people down, and I think this guy, Nick Bonito, is about as good of a pass rusher as you're going to find outside of Myles Garrett in the NFL.
Good.
He's fast. He's really, really fast. I mean, he's so fast. He makes fast people look not fast.
I got it. He's fast.
But the reason why I think both of these teams are getting overlooked is the other side of the ball for each team. For the Chicago Bears, their defense is absolute ass.
What is that? It smells like a turd covered in burnt hair.
Smells like Bigfoot's dick.
You're not going to get through the NFL playoffs with just an offense. The NFL playoffs is built for teams that have both offense and defense rolling.
They're not on my level.
Which is why for the Broncos, I also think a lot of people are overlooking them, because as great as this defense has been playing, and of course we do say that defense wins championships,
It's true.
that offense has looked very bad at times. There's a lot of bad tape out there on this offense, and there's a lot of things that teams can expose about this offense.
It's not true.
Storyline number 4 is Jonathan Taylor and these Indianapolis Colts. Now, we could talk about the game, about how the Indianapolis Colts go over there and beat the Atlanta Falcons in Germany in front of those crazy fans that they have over there in Germany, which was awesome. But really, this storyline's not about that. This storyline's about Jonathan Taylor and the MVP conversation. Right now, the MVP conversation is being centered around a basically 3-horse race in Drake May, Matthew Stafford, and the guy on your screen, Jonathan Taylor.
No big deal for them. They're usually there anyway.
Now, don't get me wrong. Jonathan Taylor is playing as good of football as I have ever seen him play. And nobody in the NFL looks faster or more explosive than Jonathan Taylor does right now. He is truly unreal.
Wait for it.
There is no way that you're going to convince me that Jonathan Taylor's value is more than Drake May to his team, or Matthew Stafford to his team,
One eternity later.
or Sam Darnold to his team, or Josh Allen to his team, or Lamar Jackson to his team.
I get it!
So no disrespect to Jonathan Taylor, but I truly believe that if Jonathan Taylor wasn't playing for the Colts right now, they would still have a winning record. Whereas I think that if you took Matthew Stafford off the Rams would be dog shit.
Poop. Poop mouth. Poop out of your mouth.
If you took Sam Darnold off the Seahawks, they would look like what the Seahawks looked like without Sam Darnold last year.
Not over yet.
How did the Ravens look when Lamar Jackson wasn't playing? Does anybody want to chime in on that?
What does that have to do with anything?
No. He's got a point.
Speaking of my opinions, if you disagree with me on that, or you just want to call me an idiot, or good looking, or ask me on a date, or kind of anything you want to do me a favor and make sure that you guys like and subscribe. And not only those two things, but feel free to comment as well and tell me what a fucking doofus I am.
You are so dumb. You are really dumb. For real.
Storyline number 3 belongs to the Miami Dolphins. Not really. It's actually about how the Bills fucking stink.
Boy, that escalated quickly.
Now, I've never been the biggest Sean McDermott guy. I think that I have seen plenty from him as far as game situational awareness on the defensive side of the football, which is supposed to be his specialty, to where I am just not impressed by him.
To win it now. They need about 15 yards to have one of those long-range Hail Mary kicks. Got to throw it right away, right now to someone in the middle. Down the middle. Oh, my goodness! It's going to be a 48-yard attempt. Only 48 yards.
To me, after the year is over, if the Bills don't get it done, it is going to be time to get rid of that guy, because I do think he is what's holding this team back.
Pack up all my files. Pile everything you see into a box. Everything. You see a used condom, an executioner's mask, and a goddamn spike paddle. Don't think. Just pack that bitch.
Now, I'm not in the building. I don't know what this guy's like on the day-to-day. All I can tell you is that from the things that I have seen in his past about his management of situations with him supposedly being this defensive guru, it very much irritates me, because I think he has an all-time generational talent in Josh Allen, and I think he is wasting that.
And it's gone.
Shout out to Dolphins fans, though, because my goodness, it has been a rough year for you guys, and I know that you guys know that you're not getting to the playoffs or winning the Super Bowl this year, but it has to feel good to take down the Bills, who are, you know, the kingpins of the division the last few years, and I'm sure you guys are happy about that. Ultimately, this is bad news for Buffalo, because as we are going to see later on, they might not really be the kingpins of this division anymore. Storyline number 2 belongs to two of the coastal teams in the NFL. Sam Darnold of the Seattle Seahawks and Matthew Stafford of the Los Angeles Rams have been playing outstanding football.
Now, if you want to crown them, then crown her.
Now, I mentioned earlier about how the MVP conversation is basically a 3-horse race between Matthew Stafford, Drake May, and Jonathan Taylor, but for my opinion, I don't think Sam Darnold is too far out of that conversation at this point. This guy has been spinning it all year long.
He's good.
Nobody is playing better football than Matthew Stafford right now, and certainly with how close they came to getting to the Super Bowl last year against the Eagles, basically being the only team throughout the entire NFL playoffs who had anything for the Eagles, you would be crazy to think this team doesn't have a chance to make another run with Matthew Stafford and win a Super Bowl.
You fucking crazy, man.
But having said that, my new favorite for the NFC has got to be the Seattle Seahawks, and I'm going to tell you guys why.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you something.
We don't care.
I told you earlier, the NFL playoffs serves teams who are really good on offense and really good on defense. When you tend to have a weakness on one side of the football or the other, the NFL playoffs will expose that weakness and make it very public for everyone to see. The Seattle Seahawks so far are the only team in the NFL who are ranked in the top 5 on both offense and defense.
Oh, would you look at this?
Yeah, well...
Would you look at that?
Yeah, there's a few more blemishes on the car.
Oh, my gosh, just look at it.
The car is not perfect.
Just look at it. Just look at it.
Yeah, well...
What the heck is that?
Storyline number 1 belongs to the New England Patriots.
I'm not surprised, mother.
You're talking about a Patriots team going into Tampa Bay, missing one of their young star playmakers on the outside, against a team in the Buccaneers who are the reigning NFC South champions, the current leaders of the NFC South, in their house. And not only that, but the Buccaneers were coming off a bye week.
Did that go the way you thought it was going to go? Nope.
Now, of course, the Buccaneers have some injuries of their own, but this is the NFL. You got to be able to win at home coming off a bye week, right?
Wrong.
But we are not here today to down the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We are here to promote what Mike Vrabel and the New England Patriots are doing, which is very impressive. And we just talked about the fact that the Seahawks had to be considered my new Super Bowl favorite because of the fact that they have so much balance throughout that football team. But then you take a look over at the New England Patriots and you start digging into the numbers a little bit and you go, their quarterback is now the odds-on favorite to be the MVP of the league. That's pretty good for their offense.
Hell yes.
And then you go over their defense, and they've given up the third least amount of points in the AFC. That's a pretty good sign for their defense.
Captain Insano shows no mercy.
Now, of course, it's way too early to say this, but I know how much you guys love Super Bowl rematches, so what would y'all think about Seahawks-Patriots?
Erroneous! Erroneous! Erroneous on both counts.
And we did receive news today that Brian Daboll got fired.
You got to be a stupid motherfucker to get fired on your day off.
I think that if the Giants were smart, they would go get somebody that can really get a quarterback to play at a high level that's not named Josh Allen. But personally, if I were the one calling the shots for the New York Giants, you take a look at the personality of Jackson Dart, and you take a look at the personality of Cam Scatterbo, you know what would be a good fit for them? How about Chucky?
Every day you build, you put blocks down. You guys ever see a mansion, a big, beautiful mansion? You got to build the foundation, man. That's what we're doing here. Understand that. You got to build the blocks.
And as far as tonight's matchup between the Green Bay Packers and the Philadelphia Eagles, of course, by the time this episode comes out, you guys will have already known what the outcome of this game will be. But I like to make a fool out of myself, so I'm going to make a prediction.
What if I were to tell you that I had a 22-inch cock? Is that something you might be interested in?
There is this pesky voice telling me that the Packers are going to come out here and make a statement because of how their week went last week, and so they're going to want to rebound from that. But I cannot ignore all of the logic that is telling me that the Eagles are just a better football team than the Packers at this point, especially because the Packers' best player on their offense is no longer playing the rest of the year, and that is Tucker Kraft. So give me the Philadelphia Eagles in this one. I like them to win with a final score of 24-22.
Nice. Nice. Nice.
So that is it for today's episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I appreciate your support. If you like what you saw today, do not forget to like, comment, subscribe, all of that good stuff. I love you guys. I truly appreciate your support, and I want you to come back next time. And don't forget, next week, I am having my NFL Power Rankings episode, which will totally not be a waste of your time.
Thank you so much for being my friends.
America, America. America, fuck yeah! Come out again to save the motherfucking day, yeah, America, fuck yeah! Freedom is the only way, yeah. Terrorists, your game is through, 'cause now you have to answer to America, fuck yeah! So lick my butt and suck on my balls, America, fuck yeah!
But I got a word of warning for all you would-be warriors. When you join my command, you take on debit. A debit you owe me, personally. Each and every man under my command owes me 100 Nazi scalps. And I want my scalps. And all y'all will get me 100 Nazi scalps, taken from the heads of 100 dead Nazis. Or you will die trying.